all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here, and welcome to a Wednesday edition of TNInews Live. Though for today, we're not going to be covering much in the way of toy news. In fact, it's been a pretty light week. I do have a couple of updates I want to shoot you, but for most of today, we're going to be chatting with Matt, also known as Big Nerdy from Nerdzoic. He's had some things going on that I thought was worth bringing him on. So that's our main focus. But before we get into that, I also just want to shoot out. Basically, I want to let you guys know first. One quick piece of news I wanted to share with you as the G.I. Joe HasLab Snowcat is just over a day from ending, and we are closing in on stretch goal number 1. We have less than 500 to go. As of right now, let me just refresh the screen. We're at 9,677. So I definitely feel like the Lady J stretch goal will be added. We'll have to see how big of a boost it gets in that last day. I still think it's possible we could hit the other stretch goals, but definitely I feel like stretch goal number 1 is going to be included. Let's see. And then also just a quick let you guys know, yesterday we did a members only video, and actually now Big Nerdy's coming in on this one. But so we gave away $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. Jackie was our winner. Doing more action figure enthusiast channel member content for you guys. So if you're interested in doing so, we're about up to 55 action figure enthusiast members. Hit the video or hit the link in the video description on details on how to do that. But big congrats to Jackie yesterday for winning that contest, and they have claimed their prize. So again, congrats to them. One other quick news update I wanted to share, and this is really just a little bit of an amendo to what I talked about on Monday in regards to the Todd McFarlane Batmobile that went up for pre-order today. So that mainly I just wanted to let you know that I was a little off on the price. I thought it was going to be $99, and it turns out I can't get the screen. Well, anyway, it's the price on it is $80. So I don't know why that's not coming up. Oh, I see. So I'm also trying out some new features here. So anyway, Batmobile went up for pre-order today. Was listed as a McFarlane store exclusive. So Amazon has it listed on their website too. I don't know if it was ever available. If not, it may be in a few days. If it was, it sold out really quick. Was not listed as an Amazon exclusive, but I noticed the other day with those Pennywise Movie Maniac figures, which were also supposed to be McFarlane store exclusives, that those ended up going up on Amazon. So the communication with McFarlane continues to be crappy, but so right now it is available on the McFarlane store, $80, not $99, like I said on Monday. And whether Amazon did have it and sold out, or even if they did sell out, we'll have more at some point, I don't know, but they do have it listed on their website. All right, so let's now that we got all of that out of the way, let's bring in Big Nerdy officially here.
Hey.
At his new headquarters, his new Nerdzoic headquarters.
That's right.
I don't think you've officially announced to people that you have a new setup going.
I haven't. I've been super lazy on that on purpose because as we've been doing this and setting up, I'm like, I don't want anybody like walking in expecting something set up here because I don't lock the doors or anything when I'm here. Uh, but yeah, we are officially here. We got all our product moved. We got our entire operation of shipping moved. So yeah, it has been what July 1st it started. Naturally, I threw out my back June 30th. So the first 3 days were pretty much nothing but me sitting in my truck as like I had Wi-Fi put in and stuff like that. But now it's up and running, almost done. My office is literally a folding table right now. I'm waiting for them to finish. I need a cubicle. I got my wife one, waiting for hers to come. And the Rite Aid pharmacies around here are going out of business. Well, everywhere, but all the ones here are going out of business right now. So we have been picking up equipment from them left and right, which has been nice. You can see my rolling ladder there. I got a bunch of different carts and stock things that are usually thousands of dollars. I got all of it for under like 500. I think it was great. Uh,
Nice.
we are going to do some retail. I think it's going to, I tell people who are local to temper your expectations on what it's going to be. It is not going to be like a standard retail. Uh, my plan is to do, it's going to be very small, like 200 square feet, not the whole building. The whole building's like 35 or something. Uh, and it's going to be when you walk in, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. Traditional retail, as everybody knows, is really hard, low profit margins, high cost, high labor, yada, yada, yada. We have it set up so that our shipping area is directly facing our uh, retail area. So whoever is shipping can also double as people walk in with taking care of them and really running the front of the store. Anna, my wife's doing that right now. Uh, but it's going to be very much a select bit of stuff that I put out there. And then I'll probably put one or two like tablet stations where you can go through and see the whole catalog of what's in stock, since obviously it's all there. We can go get anything from the back you want. Um, it'll be very weird hours for a store too, because I don't really have my son's doing tackle football this year. So every night is a practice or something. So I'm not going to be doing too many late evenings or anything. But yeah, we're going to get that hopefully in the next 30 days going, because I need it in order to carry Magic the Gathering. And with the Marvel stuff coming, I'm like, hey, this is a sign. I need to get me that Magic. So I'm excited. Very exciting times.
Now, if you're going to start carrying trading cards, you better make sure you have your security system in place. Because
Well, that too. I haven't done that yet. Probably shouldn't say that live. I was actually with my buddy Uncle Bob today. Uncle Bob Toy Store down the street from me. So now, like where we are, there's me. I'm the modern toy guy, and then there's a really nice vintage toy store like a mile away, and then Turning Your Dreams is a good hour. Like it's a nice corridor now we have of stores.
yeah,
So
they are. I don't know how far away you are from like Frederick, Maryland, but they
except the
are
new one.
opening. They're opening a new store
Hmm.
in the mall there in Frederick. Um,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think they've
wild.
given a specific day yet, but I know they're moving in. Like they closed their store that they had in Gettysburg,
Yeah,
which they only opened a couple of years ago. But
1 year.
I guess
Yeah,
yeah, but now they're opening, and I won't like. I don't know if you've ever been to Attorney of Dreams,
I have.
but um, the mall, their main store is in a mall as well, but it's like what I would call a total. Like I don't even know how the mall stays open. I guess it's got a movie theater in it, so that might be what helps keep it staying open.
It
But
feels like Eternia Dreams is the anchor store in that mall.
yeah,
Like,
well, I mean, he had like five different stores set up in that mall at one point, so yeah, he's got to be like their biggest customer at this point. But the mall they're moving into in Frederick, the Francis Scott Key Mall, I won't say it's like a happening mall, but it's certainly more lively, I think, than their other where they are their main stores right now. So I don't
yeah,
know what the
malls are
plan
tough.
is. Yeah,
Malls
well,
are tough because
especially
like they still
yeah,
want you to, they still want a lot of money in rent. They still expect people to pay like it's the 90s.
well, here in this area, most malls have closed up. Like they're demolishing them and redoing them as like retail slash condos, like where you got the
Mm.
condos on top and then the retail businesses on the bottom. So a traditional mall, there's a few still, like Tyson's Corner, Virginia, and Montgomery Mall are probably the two malls that
Yeah.
are fairly, staying active and current and stuff. But most of the malls in this area have all shut down. Like I have a mall. I used to have a mall literally like 5 minutes from my house. You could walk to, and now they've shut that one down and are going to be demolishing it soon. And like I say, building up new retail and housing in that area.
Yeah, it's pretty depressing. But, I was thinking about this a few months ago. We were watching, I think it was season 2 of Stranger Things with our kids. And like one of the themes was that Main Street was dying and everything's going to the mall and how depressing it was. And I thought it was funny the parallel now malls are dying and everything's going online, or it was pretty interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, like you, I'm sure I went to the mall all the time. But I think, I mean, I don't know what kids do today, but like I do most of my shopping online thanks to Amazon and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
other than the grocery store, and even that, if it's a pinch, I'll order online. But you know, it's very hard for physical retail to survive in this online age, as it were.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to do a physical store by itself. It needed to be a hybrid. I don't think it would work long term. I think you'd be pinching pennies to make it work, and it's not really the way I like to do things. I would rather be conservative with it. I probably got a smaller space than I should have. I could have gotten the space next to us too, but I was like, I don't know. But we'll see how long it takes me to regret that.
Well,
So
you expand. You take it over. Once you get this one going, then you.
yeah, it's either that or we back up the where this is kind of like a flex space. On the other side of it is a traditional retail strip mall. And I can actually get into those if I had a key. You can access those stores from like the back hallway that connects all of these units together. So long term, if this goes really well, maybe I'll get one of them to do just retail in and turn this into just warehouse. But we'll see. Kind of just taking it day by day at the moment.
Yeah, I think you got it right. If you can like carve out a little retail space there, and you don't even have to have that open 7 days a week, like you
Yeah.
were kind of talking. Like you could just be open on weekends or whenever you find your highest traffic volume for physical, or do something like where you can order something for people who live nearby you. You can buy online and then go in and pick it up or something.
Yeah, I think we are going to have a lot of people take advantage of that because I had people who've been asking about that for years. And there was a time where I was meeting people at like random gas stations with their orders. People must have thought we were nuts. I'm handing off gargoyles to this random person, but now it's much less random. So it's pretty interesting. I'm excited to get more into the TCG market as it diversifies me out of just toys and specifically makes the tariff thing a lot easier because there aren't any
Yeah.
on those. But yeah, it's
Well,
fun stuff.
well, the only reason why I mentioned like you better have your security system in place if you're going to do the trading cards, because I don't know shit about trading cards, but I go to Target occasionally, and I see like how they have like the security, like extra security stuff on it. You can't even get to the cards unless you have somebody unlock the. I mean, it's like crazy.
Yep.
So I just
We're doing that
I,
too. They're
I,
going in a showcase.
yeah. So I feel like the pickpocketers, if they have the access, might find that easy to want to pick up or something.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm going to be pretty smart with it. I'm going to, ironically, like these Walmart display pictures we keep seeing pop up with these big intricate dioramas and stuff. I was hoping to try to mix that in places just because I think it's cool. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not going to be much. Now, the rest of the place, that's where I really need to make sure I mean, I have cameras everywhere. It's just about getting them all finished, set up. I inherited the cameras from the last tenant. He gave me all the access, but no instructions. So I'm still kind of figuring them out.
Now, do you have like a big Nerdzoic sign up on the front of the building, or?
Heck no, there's nothing yet. So this used to be an adult video warehouse and pickup
Ooh,
location. So the front of the front window is like they have this privacy film So like you can't see any here. No one has any clue other than like if they see what's on a pallet when it's driving coming in. Now I have the signage ordered. I told him, I'm like, I'm not ready for this yet. Let's not do this quite yet. Because I'm going to take down in that picture you can see behind there, that's like our main entrance. I'm going to take that down and put up like I'm trying to they make branded window tint. So that's what I want. It's a one-way window so I can see out. Then on the outside, you just see the advertisements, logos, and etc. Yes, no, they did not leave anything. But when we were visiting the place to tour, it was quite interesting. Uh, my son kept asking why he couldn't come with us to see what it looks like beforehand. And finally, my wife just explained it to him, and he wished he didn't ask. And then like I came in here like 3 or 4 times during the whole process to measure things, check things. Every time was different. Like the first time was just like, oh, yep, those are boobs on the wall. Cool. That's totally normal in an office environment. Like things like that. A cart full of adult toys just goes by me as I'm walking. Of course, like the UPS guy finds it really amusing that it's still a toy store. He thinks that's the funniest thing ever. And he is even more amused. Well, he's like, well, they're still adult toys. I'm like, mostly, yeah, you're kind of right there. But yeah, it was interesting.
Was this place like it just like you were literally took it over from this place? So it like closed up what?
They got out June 27th was their last day. In fact, some of the shelving is theirs because they're like, hey, do you want this? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I come in my first day. You can see I left some labels on because they're not obscene, but like they had some pretty obscene labels. And my son's like, what's this? Nothing. Give me that. Like, yeah, I think I got rid of all the bad ones.
So, like, have you had any former customers show up and be like, hey, where are the movies?
Thankfully, no. I have a feeling they didn't do walk-ins at all. I think they just did pickups because it was Excitement Video, which they have like 6 stores in this area. So I think they just use this as like a hub to run the smut from store to store. It's my best guess. I don't know why they had it. It seemed like completely useless because it didn't seem like they'd used it for much other than some back storage. It looked like a storage unit in here.
Well, what did you notice? Like any areas where maybe they did filming, like maybe they were making their.
There were none. We didn't clean it very well, just to be safe, though. So yes, Turtle Dave, there is no sticky floor areas. None of that.
That's another thing we don't have anymore. We don't have any video stores around here anymore. So.
Oh, we still have a ton of those kind of video stores around here. Most of them get busted for prostitution every other month.
Yeah. Well, like here it used to be like you'd have the back room of a regular video store, but I don't know if we had any like just straight up all porn video stores in this area. But
oh god, yeah, here I can think of there's 3 in a strip. It's like a strip club, a porn store, and another strip club. And then across the street from that is a KFC. And from like 2002 to 2010, my dad ran that KFC. And like we'd be sitting there. I go to see him. I'm eating my double down, and he's like, "Oh, looks like someone pulled the fire alarm again." You look outside. There's naked women running, like exiting the building because they thought there was a fire. So how often does this happen? It's like I don't know, once or twice a month. Oh, no wonder you're always here. Explains a lot.
Well, like you said, at least you're still selling toys.
That's right.
So last time we talked, we were just delving into all of the tariff situation. How have you weathered that storm? Has it been what you expected? Worse? Not as bad?
The timeline has because it's what I expected if I knew what the timeline was going to be. So we still haven't really seen the full impact.
Timeline, you mean like the tariffs are going to go in effect on this date?
Tariffs on,
change.
Tariffs off. Yeah. Like, 145%. Now they're 30%. Like they're just all over the place. And I have a feeling that a lot of companies are skirting these tariffs, and there's a lot of loopholes that if you're the manufacturer, you can use to bring stuff in. Uh, like, for example, I forget the exact name of the clause, but there's a clause that is if you have a product, let's call it a widget, you can claim the cost as the lowest cost you've done in the last 10 years. So, whatever that, you can just basically use a super low cost to really artificially lower the tariff. Someone like me, I don't do my own manufacturing. I can't do that. Uh, it hasn't been passed on to, so I see a lot of people doing victory laps on the tariffs. Like, see, it wasn't that bad. It hasn't been passed on yet to anybody. Uh,
Yeah. Well, it had some, but not,
yeah, not the full impact.
and we still don't
Most
really
companies are waiting.
know.
Yeah.
We still don't even really know what the final thing is going to be. Like China, they just postpone. I mean, I even kind of lost track, but I guess we're what at 30% on
We're
China
at
stuff,
30. We're at
and
30.
they're still negotiating, and they just extended the negotiation for another 3 months. So I guess we've got at least another 3 months until we know if they're going to go up even more or what
Well,
have you.
there's more to it than that. Like, if you're shipping through certain, I'm not going to name carriers because I don't want like government agents knocking down my door, but some of the carriers are just like, whatever, push it through. Uh, so there's some stuff that gets through certain carriers easier than others. Not as many as you would like, but smaller orders, it can happen. And it's always nice when it's like, oh, cool, they missed one. Uh, but I think that it's messy on the whole. It definitely favors big business like Target and Walmart. They can afford to absorb this and just knock everybody else out. I've had conversations with manufacturers. So NECA in specific, I had an email chain going where I said, listen, so they don't want to raise their wholesale price. They don't want to raise MSRP until things are finalized, like anybody else. So they have uh, a tariff surcharge. Now they're charging it to their wholesale customers. They're charging it to their retail customers. Meanwhile, Target and Walmart aren't charging it. So they're charging, Target and Walmart are charging $4 or $5 less an item than even the manufacturer is charging direct, which is just asinine overall for them. So I think that we're going to start seeing the price increases soon. The surcharge will go away because the surcharge thing has not gone the way people thought it would. Uh, the consumer response has been incredibly negative. Rather than blaming the situation on who's at fault, it's, oh, what, you want to absorb it? You can afford it. So I've even seen consumers straight up say, I'd rather you just bake it into the cost. I don't want to know the extra crap I'm paying, which to me is completely counterintuitive. I would much rather know exactly what the breakdown is, but to each his own, I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, I get the not pre-ordering something and then 3 months from now you could find you have to pay more being annoying, but I
Yeah.
agree. Like Entertainment Earth, they tried just like baking the price in, and I don't think that worked very well for them. So they seem to kind of backed off from that. Whereas
Well,
like,
so, I can tell you this. So I thought Joel Big Bad, I thought he did it the right way. He sent out that notice. The notice, went up on everyone's news site. So it's not, he was sending out to everybody. It was basically, hey, we're going to absorb as much as we can. We'll bake in a little bit or we'll absorb as much as we can. We'll probably have to give you a little bit of an upcharge. People's outcry to that was really loud. We made the decision here. We were just going to eat it on any pre-orders. Like, was without a question, if we lose money, we lose money on it. Cost of doing business. We also made the decision to not raise prices or do tariff surcharges, which has been relatively brutal. Uh, it basically means that any extra cushion in profit margins is gone right now. Uh, I'm kind of just playing the game of, well, all right, let's just see how this plays out. When everybody goes to a new price, I'll go to a new price. I'll match MSRP or do $1 above, whatever it takes. But EE was kind of in the situation of they were going to run out of money there for a while if they didn't increase their prices because they were paying the 145% to get stuff out of the port. bonded warehouses, which is basically it's a warehouse in the US where you can store your stuff and not pay customs until you take it out. What the bigger companies were doing was they were storing their stuff in there, waiting for that 145% to go down. EE didn't do that. They just paid it. But I could tell you in their case, I'm assuming this is not secretive in any way, but they told me straight up, yeah, we renegotiated with a bunch of suppliers. That's how we're affording this now. So they're paying less for their products in order to absorb the tariffs.
And what
I
does
mean,
that mean though when we renegotiate? Meaning
what they're
the
paying the
person,
manufacturer.
but the manufacturer is eating the cost. I mean, who's eating the cost?
Well, their EE still paying it, but if EE was going to pay $15 a unit plus $3 in tariffs for a 18, but they really needed it to be a 15, they'd say, okay, let's renegotiate. Can you do 13 a figure? So now that 13 a figure is really 16 once you add in the tariffs, but 16 is still better than 18. So that's basically what that means. And I'm finding that too in certain scenarios for certain like imports that I bring in, where they're just like, well, without the US, we're kind of screwed. So we have to eat some of it. Uh, and I think that's where like the pro tariff people get their ammunition. Like, hey, we're not really paying it. No, trust me, I could show you the bills. We're paying it. But it's in some cases, in certain industries, they're willing to do eat more than others. Toys, unfortunately, are one of the industries where they're not going to eat as much because it's we talked about this last time, very specialized systems in manufacturing. It's not like you can just pick up and go somewhere else overnight. If you're manufacturing something that's super simple and you can, then they're going to eat a lot of the cost because they have to in order to not lose you to another country. But it doesn't really matter now because every country's tariffed. Like
Right.
somehow
And I mean, I
China's
think that's
cheaper
what
than Canada.
a lot of people don't realize is like every industry is going to be different. It's going to be affected differently. It's going to be hit. Some are going to be hit harder than others, and so on and so forth. And unfortunately, I think with like toys and stuff, it's one of the industries that's been getting hit the hardest. And that's why you see companies like Hasbro switch a lot of their focus to video games and the
Yep.
trading cards, which they can more easily manufacture here in the United States than
Yep.
they could in, plastic action figures and stuff. And I don't know this to be a fact, but like one of the things I noticed at San Diego Comic Con was like that Super 7 had no new products to show off. And the only, they seem to be primarily doing, other than maybe a few things that they already had in the pipeline, they seem to be focusing primarily on the smaller reaction figures. They're doing plush stuff now. They're doing, they seem to be trying to get away from the more detailed, articulated action figures like Ultimates and stuff. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's a strategy that they're hoping will work for them as far as getting away from tariff costs and stuff.
Yeah, and for them it's hard because like I mean to this day most people it's like a joke if you think, "Oh yeah, I'll pay full price for a Super 7 figure." Like everyone just assumes it's going to go on deep clearance someday because
Yeah,
there was a period there where they were overproducing the hell out of it. So,
yeah,
I mean, and that's kind of like the game you have to play against with everything. So yeah, it's all connected. It's all pretty stupid, but in the end, I will continue to maintain. And a lot of people think I'm nuts. This is blatantly illegal. You, the president can't just declare tariffs. It's like Michael Scott walking into a room declaring bankruptcy. No. And I do think it's eventually, if it makes it to the Supreme Court, it's going to be struck down. My concern is that the Supreme Court punts it and just says, no, we're not hearing this. And I don't know what
yeah,
happens in that scenario. Like, I don't know the law of it. Uh, but, like, if you forget about the politics of it for a minute and look at it pragmatically and you look at how the Supreme Court tends to roll justice by justice, seven of them, take just the six Republicans on there, four of them traditionally rule in the favor of lower government power. So if you get two of those four, that's a 5-4 win. So that's why I think that's going to happen. I've actually, like, just for S's and G's, ran the question through every what is a AI model. I'm like, hey, work as a strategist, figure out what are the percentages of this. Like, it's pretty, like, AI all says between 60 to 75%. So I still hold out hope for that. Uh, right now, the longer it goes, though, the bigger the problem becomes, because if it does get completely struck down, they have a lot of money to pay back. So it'd be bad. Yep. See,
Yeah, I
he
mean,
knows it.
my feeling is, as far as the president, I mean, I think we're pretty much stuck with this for, until we get to midterms. If things are bad, like a lot of economists and people like yourself think, the tariffs are going to cause damage, then I think Republicans will lose the House and the Senate, and then Democrats will then have some ability to put this stuff in check. If those people are wrong, if you're wrong, and the tariffs do end
Yep.
up not causing much damage and stuff, then it might be a whole different situation. But I think unfortunately
Yeah.
we're just in a waiting situation, and people will vote based on how they are feeling economically. I mean, all the news headlines and the hubbub. I just think most people tune that stuff out nowadays, regardless of whether it's true or not. And I think they just vote based on how they're personally feeling. So,
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's a lot of good to that sometimes. One thing that I would say temper your expectations with is I haven't seen any Democrats running on the platform of tariffs are bad. And historically, so when Biden took over in 2020, he didn't change any of Trump's tariffs to China.
right.
So I don't see it. Like, I've ran that question through ChatGPT too, and it's 30 to 40% chance that they eliminate the tariffs if they get control, which to me is mind-boggling. Uh, now the tariffs are going to be a one-time thing, though. So traditionally, what will end up happening is we'll see a little bit of deflation for a while from the tariffs, because what happens is everything goes up at once. Okay, once every company makes their move and makes it go up, what ends up happening is, okay, prices go up, consumer spending drops. When that happens, the companies have to either drop their prices again or lower their supply chains. And from what I understand, it's going to be a one-time hit. So we'll see the big spike in inflation, and then that's it, because it's not like the tariffs increase year over year.
I
Overall,
think
it's stupid.
I think what you're going to see happen is they'll probably pull some of the tariffs back, but the main thing, the difference is if Democrats take control of the House and the Senate at the midterm, is they can basically take Trump's ability away to implement the tariffs. So
Oh, they absolutely can.
at the very least, he would no longer have free reign to just do what he wants. So
The
that's basically the big
question
difference
is,
between.
will they? you know?
Well, I think to a certain extent, I don't think they'll like remove every tariff, and
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think every tariff is bad.
No, not at all.
Um, I think if this had been done in a much more controlled, targeted way, it actually could have been good without the
Yeah.
bad. So I can't see the future. I don't know where we'll be in a year and a half from now, but I've noticed a slowdown with, I don't care what job numbers say or anything like that. I can see a lot just running my own business that, there is some slowdown that's happened since in the last several months since all this began. But
There's without a doubt.
where we are in a month and a half, or not a month and a half, but a year and a half, or 4 years from now or whatever, that I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to see. I'm seeing on my end, I still see growth year over year, but I'm seeing the growth slow down. So
Yeah.
where we were 20 or 15% up year over year, I think last month we were like 11% up. Now the question is, how does that, how much of that is, I basically did no advertising in July because we were doing the move. Uh, how much of that is that? I didn't put out any content. I didn't do my email updates. I did basically nothing. Uh, August so far is up heavily, but it's been a pretty good start with with pre-orders. So I don't know how much that's going to continue. Now we'll see how that continues to fare. Uh,
Now, see,
I
that's
don't know.
kind of interesting because, like, I've looked at August, and August to me, like, last month was actually pretty good. Um, but this month, like, it's what there's like next to no pre-orders, and what
Yeah.
pre-orders there are tend look, they're store exclusives, or they're
Yeah.
Hasbro Pulse exclusives, or they're McFarlane store exclusives, or what have you. So like this month to me seems like a really light month. Now, that's not terribly unusual, especially after a month after San Diego Comic Con, where you
Yeah.
have the big pile in of all the news and pre-orders and stuff, and then you kind of get that little break there. But
Yeah.
you
We
know,
saw heavy pre-orders at the end of July. I think
right?
for us, August also has a Four Horsemen release, which is usually a nice spike for us in sales. So we'll see. I mean, I plan on, you see Big
That's
Bad doing
next
it
week,
already.
right?
Yeah.
Those,
Big Bad's
those are next
already
week.
doing the daily deals. So we'll start doing some sales here soon. As I start, now that I have everything in one place, I'll start like saying, oh, I have too much of this. Time for a sale on certain things and kind of go from there. But it's
Yeah,
definitely, it seems like, and this is very anecdotal, but like it seems like my customers who are regular customers who order a lot from me, it seems like they're still ordering a lot, just not quite as much as they were 6 months ago. And that's kind of going to be where, however, it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes, because I'm wondering how this is all going to go.
well, the other thing is there's just so, I mean, well, it's too, so like the company I've seen make have the biggest changes this year, and it's hard to say how much of that is tariff related and how that much of that is losing their major bread and butter license. But like McFarlane Toys, so this year big changes that I've seen is like online retailers seem to not be getting very much stuff allocated to them to pre-order. I mean, this idea that all this stuff sells out in just a few minutes, I don't believe. From what, in fact, I see enough numbers to know that it has more to do with that they're offering less than they were previously. Now, I don't know if that's McFarlane, if that's the retailers, or if it's a combination of both. But like online, and I've said this before, my feeling is McFarlane wants people to go into the physical Target,
Yeah.
Walmart stores to buy his stuff, and GameStop as well, which, sorry, my cat. um, you know, one of the owners of McFarlane Toys now owns GameStop Canada. So I see a lot of GameStop, I mean, GameStop Canada literally carries every McFarlane item, whether it's exclusive here or
Yeah.
not, that you can get it at GameStop, EB Games. And US GameStop has a lot of McFarlane stuff as well. So some favoritism there, and just a push, I think, is like, you know, Walmart moved all the McFarlane stuff to that back wall, which, technically that's the collector area, but I know toy companies, if they had a choice, would want their stuff in the main toy aisle because that's where the parents go, and the kids and stuff. So I'm sure they weren't thrilled that their stuff got moved to the back, which I'm sure has to do with him losing the DC license, and now all he's selling is what is truly adult collector oriented stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think that with McFarlane, they got bit so bad in 2023 with overprinting things, because when they got the license, they underprinted and it was selling out immediately. Everyone I heard from was like, oh man, you can't find it anywhere. So then they went, and this was around the time the Batman movie came out. They overprinted the hell out of it. I tell the story a lot. 2024, 2023, I don't remember which PowerCon, McFarlane Toys was there giving things away. They had so much stock, they had to give it away. And that's when they cut back on their production numbers hardcore. Last year, great examples like the Plastic Man Build-A-Figure wave, that stuff was produced in such small numbers. Now, this year started off that way. Supergirl, Kingdom Come Superman, same deal. However, that has not been the same for a bit. The reason it has not been selling out right away is because there's much more of it to sell right now. Like I
Yeah.
have the last two waves fully in stock. I think Big Bad just got some of them today. Uh, it's not hard to get them. So I think that we're going to go back to lower McFarlane sales, because I mean, the thing about it selling out super quickly was, I mean, it created a buzz and the FOMO kicked in for people. But yeah, I don't know. I think that they shot themselves in the foot. I think they're shooting themselves in the foot even more now. So basically, they're like, okay, we're just going to really double down on retail, even though retail's telling us bad things by promoting Hasbro and giving them these giant islands and then moving us to the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Not a great
I will
sign.
say, I find I've seen a lot of people posting pictures of like the display cases with the little diorama setups at Walmart. I think that's pretty corny if you want ask my. I mean,
Really?
I would rather if Walmart could do anything. How about improving your distribution and not canceling your online orders instead of sticking a couple of figures in essentially pretty static poses in a glass case and
Yeah.
trying to look like it's a collector oriented? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I
It's
said, I've
funny.
seen collectors posting pictures of them, and so they gotten the attention. But I feel like if Walmart really wanted to cater to the adult collector, they could focus on actually delivering the product than putting up some display case in certain stores.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's always a love hate with the distributor, with the big box and with the companies because they're, from what I understand, talking to reps at the big companies, they can be difficult and they'll like just straight up be like, "No, we don't want all of these now." Uh, and it happens a lot, and we see all the different issues that happen around exclusives. And honestly, it's pretty bizarre, just in general, how they handle them. I get that they want to get people into the stores, so they limit what they sell online, but that's just not. It sucks. It really sucks. And then you got people who go into the stores and buy them all, and then try to flip them. And it
Yeah,
creates, like I was talking to a guy today, and he goes, "Oh man, you know what happened back in the old days? The employees would purposely leave them in the back. Once they'd see it selling on eBay, they put up a listing. Once they sold the listing, then they take it out of the back to the front register and buy it with their discount and sell it."
yeah.
So
They'd
it's
hide them under the shelves and stuff. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, that one YouTuber, Rocco, he ended that for them with his under the shelf searches. That kind of went
yeah.
away really quickly.
So Hanzo wants to know what you thought about the San Diego Comic Con exclusives this year. Did you pick any of them up? I assume he's meaning personally, but
Yeah. No,
um,
I couldn't. I tried. I
well,
thought it was a
actually,
complete joke.
you didn't like the exclusives.
Oh no, I loved them. The ability to get them. Uh,
Yeah.
so I went in on there the day they went live, and it kept telling me that I didn't have a Pulse Premium account, even though I did. So I bought another one. I'm like, fuck it, I need a Savage Land. Pardon my French. I went in, and then it's gone. And then every time I get an alert that it's back up, and it's gone. And I was just
Yeah.
like, seriously? Like, how many
Yeah.
of these? Last year we did, what was it? Death's Head. And now Death's Head, like, they made so many of them. And I thought that was good. I thought it was a good way to do it.
But
SDCC
keep
exclusive meant you get it early.
but keep in mind that technically was never a San Diego Comic Con exclusive, and they were actually pretty clear about that. They said
Were
it was
they?
going to be available first at San Diego, but that it would be available at other retailers like a few weeks later. So that one was not a true San Diego Comic Con
Oh, I thought
exclusive.
it
That was
was.
no, that was always intended to be a online fan channel type thing. They just wanted to have it first at San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah, that is interesting. I don't remember that because I don't pay that much attention to the news. Whether it's just like, oh, this is going up, I better put it up. I thought it was an SDCC, and I thought they'd do it this year too, but they did not, and it's a shame. Like, why? Hasbro, I think, has done a lot better with overall when it's not an exclusive to Walmart or Target. I think they've done pretty darn good making sure that there's enough product made without going too crazy and all of it ending up in Ollie's, which I know everybody loves, but it's bad for the business if it does happen. So,
Let's see. Uh, Sean says, "Jay, you know those cases are provided by Hasbro, right? Walmart. I don't know who pays for it, and it's not just they were doing them for Mattel too. So I don't know who provides what, but I mean it's definitely something an idea Walmart came up with, and they're doing it with them more than just with Hasbro because, like I say, I saw pictures of Mattel cases too, and I just think it's cheesy. I don't even think like they did a very good job with the
oh no.
setups. And like if you really wanted to do a cool like bring somebody in to really design a cool diorama or something, But I just think that places like Walmart need to focus more on actually getting the products to shelves to all of their stores, not just a select few, and or online have it so you're actually not canceling like 50% of your online orders. Um, which is so annoying, especially when, like, I mean, the Masters of the Universe Faker that I bought at Collector Con last year, they canceled, and then 2 days later had it listed online again as in stock. So I then had to go back and buy it again, and actually ended up paying like an extra dollar something on it than what I paid originally, which, not that big a deal. But just the fact that they canceled my order yet they had it in stock. It's just crazy to me. It's ridiculous. So, and uh Taichan says his Walmart canceled his crystal ball. Mine's right, it says it's supposed to ship tomorrow. I'm worried it's not going to ship, and it's going to be a similar situation to the faker figure where they're going to cancel it. And I saw like it sold out again quickly, but like they had that crystal ball figure available again earlier today online. So, if they cancel my crystal ball, I'm going to be pissed. And it's ridiculous. If you're going to, I understand the retail or the manufacturers wanting to have their products on shelves at a Walmart and Target because, in large part, especially these larger companies that have these big movie licenses like Marvel and Star Wars and stuff, the the studios expect their products to be on the shelves of those main retailers because that's promotion for their movies and stuff. So I get that,
Mm.
but something needs to be done where these retailers are doing a better job of carrying the stuff, making it more readily available, and not canceling it. At the very least, not canceling, 50-50. You play Russian roulette anytime you buy anything on Walmart of whether your order is going to get canceled or not. It's
You
just
know,
kind of ridiculous.
it is. I had one of my reps text me a few minutes ago because he's watching and say that, you got to remember Walmart, Target, they cater to moms and dads buying for their kids, not necessarily collectors. And I think the thing is, if they're going to get exclusives, especially some of the exclusives they get are clearly aimed at collectors. You
Right.
know,
Like
like I don't,
Target's Thanos and Psylocke 2-pack, which,
perfect. Yes, I don't know what kid's going, Mommy, I love Psylocke.
right. Or
You
I
know,
love a video game from the
my
90s that I've
90s
never.
before I was born. Uh, I went and sorry, I just had a brain fart on us. What the hell? Oh, but if you're gonna do that, like if I'm Daddy Walmart, Daddy Warbucks, whatever his name is, the easiest thing to do is you don't have people who understand the properties or the products. Just hire one person for the entire company that's on a consultant level, just to be like your fan channel person. Yes, I am available, but it's going to be very part time. But I hope it comes with benefits because state benefits suck. So yeah, like it's very weird how they do it, but I get it because like I struggle with handling things correctly for things I don't know. So a good example, let me think of a product that we carry that I do. Oh, anything anime. I don't know what the hell I'm doing unless it's Dragon Ball. I every time a Bandai puts up a figure arts, I'm just like, I don't know. Let's see what they pre-sell, and then I'll order like one extra plus what I pre-sell because I don't know what this is. And I think they get to that too in a lot of ways. Hey, someone got
Yeah.
their crystal ball.
Yeah. I literally checked this morning, and like I say, it's listed to ship tomorrow, but I had the same thing with the faker, and then it never shipped, and then a few days later. So I'm hoping by tomorrow it says shipped, but I'm kind of feeling a little nervous about that one.
And you
Hey,
know what the irony is? This stuff then ends up in like the Ollie's discount world. Some of the stuff,
yeah,
it's like, and then like no one can get it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, these are there.
yeah. So I think I know the answer to this, but John wants to know if you've heard it specifically. Marvel Select, Annihilus, or Diamond Select in general. I assume you haven't heard really anything since they told you that if it's on the water, then it might show up, but otherwise, you're pretty much.
Yeah, so I've been told it's pretty much probably not showing up at least through us. So Nobody knows. You'll notice that the two biggest importers that are not wholesalers, which are Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth, both have all of that stuff still up for pre-order, which tells me they think that there's a chance. Like it's like Dumb and Dumber. You're telling me there's a chance. So what I did was I closed down my pre-orders because I don't want anyone to get false hope here. But I did double order all of that stuff with EE's wholesale side, which I usually don't order with them because they're really expensive. But I'm like, you know what? If I can get these, I can get these. If they actually come out, I'll probably get them, but I don't think they will. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, until once you see EE shut down pre-orders, that's when you can be like, that was our last hope. The light has gone out on Annihilus and Archangel. But until then, you still got a sliver.
But from and I've talked to some of these retailers, and they're basically like, well, nobody's telling us it's 100% not going to happen, so we're basically just leaving our pre-orders open until somebody actually says it's not happening. But I feel like
do that because I don't want to refund people. Like I don't want to get into that situation. It's much easier. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do. But it's also like I don't want to say I'm going to get something if I don't know. Now, what I did was I sent out an email to anyone who had a back order for a Marvel Select figure last Friday, and it said exactly what I just told you. And I gave them options. Like I said, 1, you can continue to hold out hope until you decide you don't want to hold out hope anymore. 2, if you want to cancel it, I can cancel it right away for you, right back on your original payment method. And as an apology, even though it's not my fault, I'll throw in a $10 store credit. Only 2 customers out of like 40 opted to refund it. Everybody else is just like, let's wait and see.
Yeah,
and it actually shocked me. I didn't think that many people were going to wait.
I would wait. I pre-ordered it, so if there's that off chance it could show up. It's not like you're going to disappear in the night with their money. So if you get the word. But Watcher, same thing with the Lord of the Rings. Pretty much anything Diamond Select, nobody is really. It's possible they could show up at some point, but at this point, nobody really knows. My personal feeling is they're not going to show up, but you never know.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I think that if they do show up, they're going to show up in a place absolutely nobody expects. Like, it wouldn't shock me if you walk into like a random antique store in Nebraska in 2 years and find a pile of Annihilus. Like, that would not shock me in the least bit, unfortunately, because nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah. John from Ireland wants to know if you do any international shipping.
We do to the Ireland part of the United Kingdom, so I believe I have it on for you guys. I'll be turning it on for the rest of the world here soon. I was waiting, but now all of a sudden, thanks to a trade world, the entire world has knowledge of how tariffs work. So international shipping is actually much easier now because people know what to expect. Kind of crazy. Before, I had international shipping on, and I would get like, hey, why am I getting charged a tariff? You didn't tell me this. And like, obviously, you can't know every country's tariff rate. So this should be, we'll see how that goes. Now, I do have the option of like pre-collecting tariffs. I don't want to play that game. That's a headache.
So the Watcher wants to know if you're going to get reissue or offer reissues of Power Princess and Astonishing Wolverine, which, as you know, some retailer, Sci-Fi, something or other, had those up for pre-order, but I don't think those were supposed to be officially. But
now,
what can you say on that?
As someone who has accidentally leaked information about reruns that they weren't supposed to, and had to atone for their sins, I don't know if they're still up. Did they take those down?
I honestly don't know.
It's quite the way to make money, because I'll tell you, once I found out I wasn't supposed to have them up, I took them down immediately. But there was a communication error with mine. That, I don't know what they're thinking there.
Did you have those up for pre-order?
Not these. If the original Star Wars reruns, before they did reruns, I had, I did a live stream. I said, here's the time it's going up for pre-order. But then someone got a hold of me before that time, and they never made it to pre-order. I don't know if they're still doing it. I'm on their site now. I'm curious to see. Let's see.
So what is it, Sci-Fi Toy that had
Yeah,
these?
yeah, they still have them on pre-order. That's wild to me. Uh, Last I heard, so like they do not want this stuff spoiled. I don't know why you would go if you know they don't want it spoiled, which if we have learned anything in the last 2 years from me, it's not to spoil these things. So let them do their thing, let them decide in their own way when they're going to do it. Uh yeah, I don't know. I do know that it was in a discussion. From what I understand, it wasn't finalized. So it's interesting that they're putting those up there when this stuff hasn't, like, I don't think it's been finalized. And there's a
Well,
very good chance that it
What's
just
weird
gets
is
pushed
so
back.
what's weird is that place put those figures up, and then like a week later, Dan Young announced the Doctor Doom and the Ghost Rider. But even that, he was like, likely these are going to be going up for pre-order, but maybe not. And of course they did, but it like seemed like there was some
Yeah.
definite uncertainty even with those two um, going up for pre-order.
I feel like Dan is just like covering his bases though. I think he knew
Yeah.
what the plan was. But I think And the reason I think he did that, and this is complete speculation, there's no inside info here on this one. I think that they changed the order because of the leak. I think that they completely changed up the plans. And they did, I think they did this the year I spoiled it too, 2023. They're like, you know what? Let's just, the surprise is gone. And I think they do that with the surprise, probably to boost Hasbro Pulse pre-orders, whatever. That's fine. It's their company. Uh, I think that that's why it got pushed back. So I don't think we'll see these. I don't think we'll see these hit anyone in 2025. Let's say that much. I could be wrong, but I'd say like odds are we won't. I think that I think Doom and Ghost Rider were probably planned for later in the year. They got pushed up. And it just kind of is what it is. Like I'll tell you, I'm seeing some of these sometimes. I think some of these are already in the States. Like I think some of this stuff, it's not like, hey, this is for next year. I think some of this stuff's going to ship sooner than we expect. Let's put it that way. There's going to be what's interesting is that Sci-Fi Toys doesn't have Doctor Doom up at all. No listing.
Well, I'm going to guess. I know nothing about this retailer, but I'm going. Are they an America? Are they a United States based retailer? Or are they an
Yeah, they're
overseas?
in Florida.
Okay, my guess is they're not dealing directly with Hasbro. So
No, no, they are not. I'm sure. So I don't know. I don't know why they haven't taken them down. I don't know why they have them up. My guess is I got to feel like I know what distributor probably leaked it. It's not one I use because, again, I use distributors that I'm very much a people person. So, like, if I'm going to work with a company, I try to actually know everything I can about that company and know the people who work there. Uh, it's just kind of how I like to do business. But yeah,
yeah,
I do, if it comes out if that ends up coming, if Cable Power Princess ends up being released, yeah, of course we'll have it. We have every single Marvel Legends thing that comes out, unless it's a Pulse exclusive, which
yeah,
maybe they end up being a Pulse exclusive now. Who knows? I hope
yeah, or
not.
Target or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, now I understand. I won't say which one, but I can see them listed for pre-order on a wholesaler site. So I'll be reporting that one because that's bad news. Ay,
Bad
ay,
news
ay.
for.
I mean, it's bad because they're not supposed to be doing that.
Hmm.
Hasbro has a surprisingly well organized infrastructure for the wholesalers, and if they're putting stuff up like that, yeah, it just creates too much chaos and confusion in the market, and you can't.
Right, and you
It's
don't
bad.
know whether they are going off bad information, so we
No,
don't
we have
really
no
know
idea.
whether we have no idea whether those will actually end up ever getting released or not.
Now, I imagine they will, but we don't know for sure. Who knows?
Yeah,
Like it's all, and ironically, Hasbro's the most uh organized of all the big companies. Like I saw Ben from the bunker ask me about wrestling figures.
yeah, I was
I,
just gonna pull that up.
yeah, I have an account with Mattel officially, but like it's been very interesting. I placed my first order the other day to just see how this all works and see if stuff shows up. I haven't seen anything process yet. So like I placed the order so I could get my fright zones, and nothing's processed yet. So I'm like, okay, did that go through? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? So I mean, I'm
Ringside,
trying to.
I don't think anyone will dethrone Ringside as the premier place to go for wrestling figures
The only way is if
because
Mattel decides to let them.
yeah, and I don't see that happening. I mean, they have very good relation. I mean, they and this is no slant against Ringside. They do a very good job with this, but wrestling figures are the only product line I've ever seen where a major company has really given favoritism more to an online retailer than the mass retailers. I mean, you still get plenty of Target
Mhm.
and Walmart wrestling exclusives, but but Ringside really has the inside track on wrestling and have for years, going back to like the Jack specific days.
Yeah,
Um, so and I mean that's their whole business is wrestling. So and they go to all those pay-per-views and they go that Mattel goes to and they do like the interviews and the so they really, they
yeah.
I and I think those I and I'm going by what people have told me, but I think the owners of Ringside are also really good friends with a lot of the actual wrestlers and people within like WWE and stuff. So they have
They
kind of an inside track.
they do. A lot of it is like the toy collecting wrestlers. So like we all know like the Matt Cardonas of the world. So like it's them. But Ringside has done a good job consistently. I've never been a huge fan of how they do things because what they do is they have a they fly things in. So they do their early models. They start their pre-orders off so really high. They lower their prices basically as things get closer to release date. So like by the time things hit mass retail, they're usually below retail. But if you want stuff early, they're charging you an extra $5 or $6. And that's a game one I don't want to play because I think it encourages unhealthy. Like it's not that's not healthy to be willing to overpay that much to get something a month early. And two, uh, I just I just don't have the time to sit there and update prices every 3 weeks like that. I want to be able to
Yeah.
set it and forget it.
Well, again, the big thing about them is that's all they do. They wrestling. I mean, they're not
Yep.
like they don't carry other lines
Yeah.
like Marvel Legends and stuff. All they do is wrestling. So that's their focus, and they've made a pretty what looks like a pretty successful business model from that. And so,
Yeah. What surprises me is that they don't get into the used wrestling market. Like for them, that would be huge.
yeah. Well, we've talked
John
offline a
Brooks.
little bit
Yeah.
about the difficulties of doing vintage
Yeah.
stuff online and stuff.
Oh yeah. John Brooks there says he loves Ringside, but they charge too much to ship to Ireland. They're probably charging you the exact price. Shipping's brutal. Some companies will absorb most of it, but those are companies that are manufacturers and direct. Like Hasbro will ship to other countries at a much lower price than Big Bad Toy Store or me because their costs are a lot lower. They can afford to. But
Yeah.
even them, they charge a lot. That's why you have stored like Hasbro UK and stuff. So yeah, Sandman, I didn't run out. I got canceled. So I had an order in with one of my many Boston spy companies where I can get a little bit here, a little bit there. And I put it up for pre-order because basically what I like to do is a lot of the places I go will limit me on how much I can order. Uh, I'll put it up for pre-order before I get it after I place an order because I want to see what the demand is. So I know, okay, as soon as my limit ends, I can go back tomorrow and order again. This one caught me a little bit and they ended up canceling my last order. So, yep, got caught. And my backup plan also got canceled on. So I got nailed on it and had to refund. I think there was 11 people. Uh, Also, on top of that, I only meant to pre-order a couple of them because I wanted to see how fast they went to gauge demand. So I use Shopify as a platform. It's the biggest e-com platform in the world. Hasbro Pulse uses it. NECA uses it. Unless you pay to have an in-house developer to build you some of your customizations like apps, you have to rely on an app store, very much like Apple. Well, the pre-order app I was using took a crap last week and just randomly like reopened old pre-order listings, didn't turn them off at the right level when they were supposed to. Uh, clo- I found out the other day, I'm like, man, I haven't sold any X-Men 97 in days. Then I go and I look and they're all closed. And I'm like, what
Oh,
the hell is
geez.
this? Yeah, like, so I'm actually in the process because I have, if you count conditions like mint and near mint, I have 645 open pre-orders right now, and I have to manually move each one to the new provider I'm using, and it's a pain in the butt. Which, speaking of complaining about computer stuff, today I found out from a customer that Shopify offers the shop app. Through the shop app, you can do installment pay, interest free. They quietly stopped doing it for pre-orders 2 weeks ago, but didn't tell anybody. So I had to find out from a customer, hey, I can't order shop pay. Did you guys get kicked out or something? And I'm always like really sensitive to that because I know that when Dorkside fell, one of the early things that happened was PayPal kicked them out. So my wife sat on a computer chat for an hour with Shopify this morning until they finally said, hey, yeah, we're not doing that for pre-orders anymore. Because what was happening was if people would order pre-orders in across everywhere, think they were in stock, and then file chargebacks with the credit card provider if they didn't get them in 7 days. So it created a whole thing. So basically, the end of the story was I found out from a customer that one of my payment providers was no longer offered for pre-orders, which sucked.
Well, like I see a lot of comments about Hasbro Pulse, and I've heard like in the last several months, like people who try to pay with credit cards can never check out, and like can only check out with PayPal,
Yeah.
and
So so Shopify offers tiers. It's like basic, medium, advanced, and then plus. They're on plus. I know that because it's like $3,000 a month, and they open it up for you to customize anything in the back end code. I will not do that because I know that I am not smart enough to do that. I imagine that they have developers on staff who do that. That's a problem on their end with it. I assume because
yeah,
I don't have those problems with Shopify. Like I played with all the platforms. Shopify had the most uptime of any of them. They also will do quite a bit from a fraud standpoint to block fraud because the amount of fraud that comes through, it's kind of scary because like you almost need a person just to filter through it. Uh, and basically people end up getting stuff for free and it sucks. So
yeah.
they filter through, they block a lot of it, which is nice.
All right, I know people questions are coming in, but I
Hit
wanted to
'em.
switch gears because we're kind of running out of time here. But you've got something coming up this weekend. You're going to be a guest at an upcoming toy convention.
Yeah. So
So you,
this is my friend Joe who does Four Horsemen's Legions Con. He does a whole host of other cons, the Toy Con NJ family, but he does like card, comic, everything really. But he's doing his first Toy Tuber Expo. I know he's partnering with Articulated Ninja for this one to help do the logistics of it. And I'm very curious to see the turnout for it because I don't know what to expect. Like, I don't know. Like, I've had people message me, be like, hey, are you selling there? And the answer is no. It's just me going because, there's too much else going on. My son's like, I'm not missing my football game. Uh,
we do have
so,
a
yeah,
panel though, right? You have a
I do have
panel.
a panel. Like, I'm excited for that. That one I'm going to, I have a pretty fun plan planned for that. That was really a fun sentence there. But like I have a pretty fun little show for that plan, and then we'll do a Q&A with it. Uh, but I guess my thing is I don't know what to expect in terms of how many people show up for this. So
I feel like, and this is I don't mean this as a slant to any toy tuber. If I was a guest at one of these things, I don't feel like I would draw tons of people.
yeah,
I feel like this is, as you mentioned, the guy running this does a bunch of conventions on a regular basis. I assume unless there was some other big convention going on, he's got vendors that probably always come to these shows that he does. So I feel like the draw is going to be just like with all the toy shows that they do is going to be vendors selling vintage used toys and the people who are coming to do that. So I assume that his other shows are do well enough that he keeps doing them, that this one will do something similar. Will it be like
Yeah,
this huge, like where tons of people come just to see a bunch of toy YouTubers? I feel
I
like
don't think
that's
so.
probably not likely, but I'm sure if you're local and you're going to a show like that, being able to listen to you talk about like your panel and things like
Hmm?
that will be interesting to people. I don't ever see when like I see these like toy tubers announced as guests. I don't think like there's anybody that's going to go, well, I wasn't going to go to this convention, but I'm going to travel across the state to go to this convention now because I want to see such and such toy tuber and stuff.
I
But
agree completely. I think it's a bonus for a regular convention. It's like a add-on, like, oh yeah, here's our guest, by the way. I knowing Joe, I'm sure this will have a ton of vendors there. Uh he is very good at what he does. He was a lawyer and he no longer has to be a lawyer, so that should all tell us something there. Uh he's actually a consultant for who the hell's the comic book price guide people? Whatever they are.
uh,
Like he's in, if you look in the price guide, he's a consultant for them. He's really big in the collectible space. Uh, but he knows his stuff. So I imagine the only thing I'll say is I wish they would have talked more about how many vendors to expect because I think there's a little bit of confusion among people. Like, am I going to a show to shake hands, or am I, what am I doing? And bring your money, people, is what I'm saying. But don't bring it for me. I'm not selling anything unless you
yeah,
just
no,
want to.
I feel like if they do this again, like you should get like a booth and set up and
I
it's
probably will. This year, the timing, obviously, with the new stuff, it just wasn't happening with the store at the same time, and we still haven't. I haven't done any hiring yet. I laid off everybody when the tariffs hit, and we have not seen a drop in sales. So it's actually been pretty brutal in that sense. Luckily, my son wants a Switch too, so he's been working all summer. But once he goes back to school, I'm going to need some serious help. Uh, him and my wife in like a 3 or 4 day span last week when a bunch of pre-orders came in. They packed something like 600 orders in 2.5 days. And if we're going to have that kind of volume, I'm going to have to really. I have the space, I have the stations, I have the capacity now, so I got to get some people in. Uh,
yeah.
but I think that
What
it's going to be an interesting con. We shall see. What they should really do, though, did you apparently I found out today from a buddy who stopped in that there was some drama between the amount of drama between toy tubers is insane. Uh, as a businessman, I gotta say there is there's money to be made here if someone wants to be Don King, and if no one's volunteering, I'll do it. Listen, celebrity boxing between toy tubers, let them get all their aggression out. I want to see it. I can't do it anymore. Ever since I paid 10 grand to have my nose fixed earlier in the year, there ain't no way I'm boxing anybody. But listen, if some of these, like I heard there was a fight that broke out at San Diego Comic Con and people got escorted out. I don't know if that's true. I keep trying. I'm like texting different guys I know who on channels like, hey, is this true? Like, hey, listen, if you guys want to do this, get 6 months to train. I'll get us a little ring set up at some rinky dink place here, maybe a high school gym. Who wouldn't pay $20 to see two guys who don't like each other punch each other? It'd be
I don't
great.
think anyone got escorted out, but there was some drama that happened at San Diego this year, and there's been some drama going online with these guys for some time.
Listen, if you're going to do it, let's cash in on it, people. Come on, you can be my partner in this. We'll promote the hell out of this thing. Toy tuber, like we'll call it like toy tuber mania, something
Well,
like that.
like Pixel Dan's like a part-time wrestler, so
I know. Well,
he.
Pixel Dan would have to be the referee just to kind of keep it in line there. I got dibs on ring announcer. Might even do the play-by-play. But yeah, it could be quite interesting. Like at this point, if they said they do it, I'd be like, hey, listen, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go in and watch this interview that Stone Cold Steve Austin did in 1997. And then do that. I like the whole Don King thing might come out big time. It'd be great.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this shit goes this weekend. And like I say, I think it'll probably draw whatever kind of crowd that he gets for those. Was it New
Probably.
Jersey? I mean, he's got a
Yeah.
but And he does have like, Four Horsemen will be there. I don't know if they're going to show anything new. They're probably just going to sell stuff,
No,
but
they'll sell. Valaverse is there.
Valorverse is going to be there. Though that might be a contentious point for drama, but yeah, there's
Always.
still people who like the Valorverse stuff. So that people will come in for that stuff. And like I fully support the toy tuber thing. Like, in fact, years ago, I had an idea. I wanted to like get a booth at Comic Con San Diego and like just bring in a bunch of these guys and like have them do autograph sessions and stuff. And they've even in recent years they've started to do some panels at Comic Con with toy tubers. So,
Yeah.
but I do think that the drama that sometimes with these guys, and it used to be before YouTube, it used to be with fan sites. You would see that same kind of drama pop up. But I feel like that does get in the way of making a cohesive, the egos, I feel like sometimes get in the way for these guys and being able to have something cohesive like that. So I don't know.
It kind of blows
Um,
my mind, to be honest. Like, we're talking about toys, fellas. And now I do see, and I won't name names of anything, but I'll say I see some of the shots going back and forth, and there's some low blows going in there. You know,
yeah.
like, why are we saying these things to other human beings? Like,
But let's also not pretend that that's just not what social media in a
well,
lot of
of
ways has
course,
become. I mean, it doesn't
of
matter what
course.
you're talking about, what the subject matter is. People fighting with each other on social media, people, you could have people arguing about whether the sky is blue or not. I mean, seriously, that's just what social media to me has kind of become. So I think this is just kind of an extension of that, unfortunately. But my
Only
advice
way
to
to
any of these guys that want to be successful from a business standpoint is to resist the temptation and just stay away from that kind of bullshit altogether. Um, and I think
ignore the
things will
drama
probably,
unless you're paying tickets. Okay,
yeah,
charity of your choice. Let's do this.
yeah,
Why
yeah, I
not?
agree.
They
All
did
right,
that. That was
well,
a big thing before COVID. The celebrity boxing. That was like
yeah,
getting pretty big. Like random celebrities, and they'd have like random people referee it. Or at least we can do. At least bring back what was the MTV show with the little claymation guys fighting?
deathmatch or something. Yeah, it was
Oh,
deathmatch,
Celebrity
wasn't
Deathmatch.
it?
Bring
Yeah,
that back with
celebrity.
only toy YouTubers fighting each other.
Or
I can animate
they
anything.
can make their own action figures and have them do like
Yeah, that'd be great.
yeah. All right, well, as always, thank you for coming in today and talking with us. It's always interesting to hear your thoughts because you're not just a collector, but you're also run a business, a retail business. So I would, at least I find it fascinating. I don't know if others do or not, but I always find it fascinating listening to insights like yours. Um, so thank you for coming in, and I look forward. I'm gonna come and see when you get everything
I'm
fully set
ready.
up. I'm gonna come. You're only a couple hours away, so I'm gonna come up there and see it in hand and everything. Because I mean, I also just because my original dream was to open a comic toy specialty shop. So like I'm just kind of living vicariously through you as you
Nice.
build this. Because I mean, I started down the road of selling stuff online when I first started my websites, but I abandoned that and in this day and age, I don't think I would have the courage to try and start a retail business.
Yeah,
So,
it's rough. For
uh,
what it's worth, I think you made the right call. Like just mathematically, your chances of success long term doing your end versus mine is way, way less risky.
yeah, yeah. But I think you also what you're doing has a chance for bigger gain, like
Absolutely.
bigger success if you can pull it off. And I think you can. So, like I say, I'm just kind of living vicariously through you as
Nice.
somebody who always wanted to run their own store. So, but good luck this weekend. Hopefully, you don't get punched out or something.
My nose can't afford it.
Good luck with the store, and if you want to come back on sometime, you're always welcome.
Awesome, buddy. Good talking to you.
All right, guys. We're gonna leave it here. Sorry we didn't get to more of your guys' questions. I should be back on Friday with a regular news video, so hopefully, you guys will tune in for that. But as always, guys, stay safe out there, and until next time, we'll catch you later. Thanks for watching today's video. Now, if you're new to the channel, please think about hitting that subscribe button. Also, hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. For all the latest action figure news, be sure to head over to toynewseye.com, marvelousnews.com, JediInsider.com, and tformers.com. And remember, action figures are great,